welcome back to Gravity Rush 2. We're still a little kid for some reason. The game doesn't really explain why that's happened yet. But, thankfully we'll be turning back and playing actual gameplay about halfway through this part, so...
Do we get trapped in the fairy world and then become a sexy teenager halfway through the game?
What?
Final Fantasy IV. I haven't even played the game, but even I get that reference.
Yeah, you were talking last part about, it's weird how they take the sex appeal character and then make them a kid. Well, Final Fantasy IV, they take the kid and then make them the sex appeal character just to make you really confused.
You know, it's less awkward when it's like, it's always 16-bit bobbleheads anyway, so...
Yeah.
I mean, like...
I guess.
You don't even get, like, a full-body portrait of her in-game. You have to look that up, like, online or something. So...
Yeah, I think you
even then, that's a mono's art.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love that game, don't get me wrong. Final Fantasy IV is probably my favorite Final Fantasy, but that game kills people off, like, 3 times each.
Yeah, I know. It's like, everyone treats Aerosmith as the biggest deal. It's like, bitch, I played 4. Everybody dies in that game.
Yeah, but everybody dies, comes back, and then dies again is the thing.
I was going to say, death means less in Final Fantasy IV than it does in Dragon
And
Ball.
neither death is genuine. But, yeah. I really need to actually play through Final Fantasy IV one of these days.
It's fun. It's focused.
I've only ever made it like shortly past the part where Cecil becomes a paladin, so...
Yeah,
you didn't get very far at all.
The best part about that game is the fact that everything is really streamlined and focused because the game knows exactly what party configuration you have at any given time.
Yeah.
So, it has less of a traditional Final Fantasy problem where you have so many options and none of them are useful.
No, you have so many useful options, but you don't need to use any of them because the monsters are too weak.
Yeah, so you find yourself not spamming Faraga on everything as much, which is fun, and also the music is good too.
You know, like the main problem I had with most of the Final Fantasy games, I want to say before 12, is that the enemy design in the random battles was so bleh that you didn't really need to put any thought into how you approached random battles unless you were like aiming for a particular enemy skill or stealing certain items or whatever.
That's why there's a big thing nowadays where people are just modding like the old games to be more interesting.
Final Fantasy VII, what is it called? A New Threat?
New Threat.
That mod looks amazing.
What do they do to
So
it?
I've heard.
They basically remixed the entire game. It's with new events, new boss fights, new dialogue in places, I think.
Rebalance stats so that every character is the more distinguishable.
It's basically like a Super Mario Galaxy 2 version of Final Fantasy VII, where everything is completely different and in completely different places.
What do they do to make Sid worth using?
Oh, yeah,
I don't know all the details, but...
Didn't they add one of the weapon fights back?
I don't know. I never played it myself. But last year, I guess 2 years at this point. I played one of those mods, A Brave New World.
It's not just about like making the game harder or anything. No, they also do useless stuff like making Jesse temporarily actually join the party as an AI-controlled party member for like the second half of the bombing mission, and stuff like that.
And I'm down for fun little experiments. Well, how could we possibly make this more mechanically interesting? Is that sometimes I feel it could be overdone because one person's interpretation of what makes a game interesting is how someone else interprets it.
Well, yeah.
You want to know what game series doesn't need fans to make the gameplay interesting? Dragon Quest.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Sonic for some reason.
Oh, no, Sonic absolutely needs fan...
Tad,
if it wasn't for fan support, the series would have died 7 years ago.
Those words that just left your mouth... Those words you just left your mouth, those were a lie.
Why was that a lie?
Because Dragon Quest is like the most basic of basics that there ever was.
Simple and interesting are not the same thing. The thing that makes Dragon Quest interesting is that all of your options are useful, and so you make meaningful choices with all of the spells you do have.
Do you?
Let's play Chrono Trigger. Play Chrono Trigger again.
So that's not really my experience with Dragon Quest, but maybe I've just been playing the wrong ones.
Well, how far have you gotten in any of them?
I think I got like 2/3 of the way through Dragon Quest VIII before I got sidetracked for 3 months and had to stop.
Did you beat Dual Magus?
I don't really remember.
Couldn't even remember that
Dual
far
Magus
back.
is the
It's
clown
been
guy.
years. I know
Yeah.
that. I just don't remember if I ever got to him. It's been years. I haven't played it since I was working at
if you
Walmart.
didn't beat him, you are not 2/3 of the way through the game. You're like
I
a
just mean
third.
like I haven't played it since I was working at Walmart, and I haven't worked at Walmart
I was
since
80
like,
hours in. Oh, she's Pashalua. She weren't even halfway done.
This is Dragon Quest, not Final Fantasy 13.
I thought you said what? Didn't say 7 was like 7 or 8.
Well,
was like
Dragon
really
Quest 7 is
long.
also like arguably the worst one, so I
haven't played 7.
don't. Yeah, I would say don't bother unless if you're like hardcore, because it's not that it's bad, it's just not as good.
Is it hardcore or you're just dumb?
Well, no, it's because here's the thing: it's not that anything it does is bad. It's just that it's really, 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 really.
One thing
slow.
I will give Dragon Quest credit for, though, is the more recent trend of including built-in demakes. That's kind of charming.
16-bit mode is the 16-bit mode is really cute, but yeah.
It's also way faster to play, so it's like, okay.
They do have like super duper ultra speed mode though, so you can have it in 3D and battles take like 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Final Fantasy 12 does the same thing, and it's a remaster.
Yeah, every RPG nowadays just needs to have an auto battle, just for the sake of making grinding less tedious.
So it's like
or you could design your game so you don't need to grind.
we have these
Chrono
big,
Trigger.
epic, huge dungeons that are such an epic feeling to go through, but people are too impatient, so we need a fast forward button.
The thing with that, Ted, though, is that not that I don't disagree, but not that I don't agree. But there are folks out there who actually get a joy from the grind itself. That's what they expect in an RPG, or at least one they like.
I mean, I guess that's true, but at the same time, I think that it's always any game with repeatable encounters, grinding is going to be an option. So
Yeah.
designing the game where you don't have to grind doesn't take anything away from the people who do like to grind.
It's okay. I'm gonna disagree slightly. Designing a game so that you don't have to grind. What that usually comes down to is balancing the game so that if you just make a straight shot through every area and fight almost every battle, you'll be high enough level to beat that. But basically what that means is if you do the smallest bit of exploration and you don't run from the battles you do while doing that smallest bit of exploration,
You become
oops,
really
you're
overpowered.
over-leveled already and you didn't even grind.
I mean,
Pokemon,
Well, I guess I'm
Pokemon-
gone
Final
now.
Fantasy VII.
Pokemon runs into that.
I don't need to grind in Final Fantasy VII. I don't need to grind in Final Fantasy VII to curb stomp everything. I just need to do side content for like 10 minutes, and whoops, I just beat the game without playing it.
The 3DS Pokemon games run into that problem too.
Yeah. I'm having slightly that problem in Pokemon Sword. Thankfully, they seem to have beefed up the challenge in the second half of the game, so that it's not completely worthless, but I still kind of just disintegrated Bea by buffing up my Gyarados a few times and then using the same move over and over.
Yep, that's Pokemon.
Yeah, but in classic Pokemon, because you had to individually level all of your Pokemon one by one, it kind of slowed your level progression down. So that, the bosses kept pace with you, but the moment the game started, just handing you EXP share so that you didn't have to do that, they didn't fix the level progression of the enemies to compensate for that, at all. So the game became, way easier. And
This character looks so done.
Yes.
I mean, if you had to wear that hat,
No, well, she's literally seen the end of days, okay? It's what that third eye does. So, there's no reason to care anymore. Just stop.
wait, so are we in the internet?
Okay, that's got nothing on, platforming through the fucking Fox News logo in DMC Devil May Cry.
DMC.
And
Yeah,
then,
but she was talking about, I've got to fix the bugs, and I'm like, okay, so are we in a computer? Does this place have computers?
He's, I guess, narratively the guy who sets the world back on track.
Well, then why can't
Which
he
is
fix
weird.
everything?
Because he's stupid.
Well, then how do we trust him to fix everything, then?
She
Oh,
does
no,
bring that
wait.
back, actually.
we're dealing with deities, aren't we?
Well, we had deities in the last game, too. so.
Deity-like people. Oh, no.
Yes.
One of them's gonna get tired of running so many universes, and they're gonna have a tournament, and it's gonna be messy.
Can you shut up?
I hate Dragon Ball Super, and it pisses me off that I hate Dragon Ball Super because Kale and Kefla are like the best things ever. But they deserve a better series.
On the bright side, they're coming to Fighters finally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
I'm
it.
excited
Wait,
for that.
isn't I thought Goku number 7 was coming to Fighters.
That's who, yes.
Ted, it's Goku number 8.
Which
Is it
Goku?
actually Goku number 8?
No, I don't.
Well, let's hold on. Let's count just for out of curiosity. We have regular Goku. We have Super Saiyan Goku. We have Blue Goku. We have Ultra Instinct Goku. We have Kid Goku.
That's 5?
Yeah. I guess if we want to count Vegeta and Gogeta, those are half of Goku, so let's count 6.
Man, you remember when like previous Dragon Ball fighting games could just have the Super Saiyan forms be transformations, and it was fine
Yeah.
because they didn't have to worry about online balance?
Well, here's the other thing though is that that's still not the most individual Gokus in any one Dragon Ball game, because I think it's like Tenkaichi 3 has a different Goku for each Super Saiyan form or whatever.
No.
No,
No?
not for each Super Saiyan form, but there were multiple Gokus for like different parts of the series, I think.
No, I think Final Bout still has the most Gokus.
But it's like
Final Bout had Kid Goku, regular
You know,
Goku, Super Saiyan Goku.
it's fine.
Super Saiyan Goku in his orange key.
It's fine when those casual ass fighting games for Naruto or whatever do like 6 fucking Sasuke's for different points in the story, because like you're not expecting super complex mechanics from those games. So pick your favorite from your favorite part in the series and go wild. It's the same as if you were playing as Hinata, same buttons. Maybe the moves are a little bit better or worse, but who cares?
Yeah, casual
fun.
fighting games with 6 different versions of the same character. So, 6 Gokus, 4 Marios.
It's like, I don't care how many versions of Naruto there are in the roster, if the roster also has everyone else, So, I'm fine.
That's the thing about Fighters is like, other Gokus are fine after you've done everyone else, and they haven't done everyone else.
Yeah, but
who's not in the game that people want other than
Master
the
Roshi.
They
Master
also want to get all those multiple Gokus into the game though, because there are different people who have different favorite seasons, and they want to do Goku with like Kaioken instead of Super Saiyan because they find it conceptually more interesting.
Does
So,
he play differently in all of them?
Yeah,
at least?
every form plays differently.
yeah.
Okay, at least there's that. Although that's also got to be confusing if you're playing against Goku and you have to be like, which Goku
Yeah.
has that?
Taking the concept
well,
of
well,
Echo Fighters a little far, aren't you?
We're literally at the point where we could have a Goku team versus Goku team and have it not be mirror matches.
Imagine like the Smash Brothers Ultimate roster if we had like
8 Fire Emblem characters, I know, right?
no, not just 8 Fire Emblem characters, but separate Echo Fighters slots for like the different versions of Ike.
Well, they need to do that more because Dr. Mario doesn't need to be his own character at this point.
Well, Dr. Mario is just a separate character because he was in Melee. That's
Yeah,
the reason.
that's-
Same
That
with
is the only-
I don't
yeah,
care.
that is the only
I
reason.
really
Yeah.
don't care what game you appeared in. You can.
I
be
think
Echo
he's
Fighter.
No,
I think he's
I know.
technically classified as an Echo Fighter though, so you can't.
No,
he's
he's
not.
not.
No,
he's not,
He
'cause
But
should
Dark
be.
Pit is okay. So Dark Pit, this person who is technically a completely different person than Pit, doesn't get his own fighter slot. But Dr. Mario,
I think it's just
who is
because
Mario
it's
with
just
a
a
code.
it's grandfather clause. That's the entire.
No, but you
reason.
see,
It's just grandfather
Smash,
clause.
dumb.
Smash.
No,
just,
I
like,
agree. I agree.
Smash just dropped like a plot bomb on us, man. Dr. Mario is a different character from Mario. He's like Mario's cousin or something.
Yes, it is me, Mario.
Dr. Mario. Then there's Mario. There's Luigi Mario. Wario
So all those
Scapelli.
jokes about like where did Mario get his medical degree? He didn't.
I mean, if Dr. Mario World is anything to go by, everyone has a degree in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh my God! You will let a baby operate on you.
Yeah, there's
you
not-
let
there's baby
Donkey
Dr.
Kong
Mario.
operate. Why would you do that?
There's
Donkey
Dr.
Kong-
Diddy.
Donkey Kong grabs a scalpel and he's like, ooh, ooh, and then he just holds it above you. Does that seem like someone you want to have your appendicitis being taken care of with?
You're sick. DK know what to.
Oh, wait, nose Peach looks like he's got brain aneurysm. Give me my waddle. Mamma mia.
Okay, so what's our actual goal right now? Is this the
We are
arc?
trying to get the ghost of our older brother into the Ark. Yes.
Okay. I thought I forgot what the Ark looked like, but why does
It's that spaceship
why does the
thingy.
ghost of our older brother need to get into the Ark? Okay.
Does
All these
Cat
questions and more can be answered if you play the fucking game yourself.
I'm just gonna go on record here and say, like, I hate the still going strong tradition of adding like vital story episodes to games in like 2-hour DLC chapters.
This isn't vital to the main game story at all. This is just something for Raven to do. And
I know.
It's a side thing.
I know, and this is like one of the least offensive
Also,
versions of it, but like,
Also, this DLC is completely free.
It's
Like,
okay, so it's kind of a catch-22 though, where if you want a DLC campaign, you want it to be substantial and matter to the story.
Yeah.
But then again, you also want the story in the base game to stand up on its own. So,
well, like, here's the thing. Like, okay, I mentioned Castlevania Lords of Shadow last part, right? There are 2 DLC chapters that get added on after you beat the game, and they're kind of important because they're the story of how you become Dracula. But, like, instead of being all, like, high budget and cinematic like the main story, this vital story of how Gabriel Belmont becomes the main villain of the Castlevania series is told through still frame artwork. Yeah.
that's pretty lame.
Well, I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more still frame artwork cutscenes in the next part of Gravity Rush, because that's how it handles dialogue in the series.
Yeah, well, I guess my point was I was very happy that this DLC had actual proper cutscenes like the main game does.